It is currently 2 a.m. I have been sitting in the same spot for the past 3 hours with no phone, no music, and no distractions whatsoever. I had decided that I wanted to become like Ayanokoji. I thought that if I could kill my emotions and start seeing people merely as tools, I might also become someone like Kiyotaka Ayanokoji, a masterpiece. For the past few days, I had been researching one particular thing, the white room system. The same brutal training, the same insane discipline, the same cold behavior, and the same psychology that can supposedly create a perfect human being. Ayanokoji himself was the product of this system, a place where children were isolated from a very young age and trained rigorously. In that environment, emotions were considered a weakness, and only results mattered. I believed that if I followed the same routine, I too would evolve. So I started an experiment. I stopped talking to my friends. I stopped laughing and began observing people as if they were not human beings, but chess pieces. I felt like I was changing, becoming stronger and smarter. But reality turned out to be very different. Honestly, it was quite disturbing. Becoming like Ayanokoji may look cool in anime edits, but in real life, it can quickly turn into a nightmare. Today, I am going to share with you 10 things I applied in my own life for the sole purpose of becoming like Ayanokoji. The results I got were genuinely shocking, and I am going to tell you about them honestly. In this video, there will be no fake motivation and no Sigma male nonsense. This is an unfiltered reality check about what actually happens to your mind and personality when you try to follow the white room system in real life. But first, let me make one thing clear. This video is not for everyone. If you are someone who only wants to watch superficial content and avoid facing reality, you should skip this video right now. However, if you genuinely want to understand whether becoming like Ayanokoji is actually possible in real life, or if it is just an illusion, then sit down with a notebook and a pen. What I'm about to share might completely change the way you think. So let's begin. Rule number 1, kill your emotions. The first rule of the white room was simple. Emotions equal weakness. From childhood, the children there were taught that if they wanted to become perfect, they had to not just control their feelings, but completely destroy them. Honestly, this concept sounds very powerful. In anime edits, whenever Ayanokoji manipulated someone without showing any emotion, it looked extremely cold and badass. That is why I decided to try it too. I made up my mind to suppress my emotions for a few days. No unnecessary talking, no jokes, no friendly intentions. Just a neutral face and a silent mind. For the first 2 days, it felt quite effective. I was able to observe people more clearly. For example, when someone speaks, they don't just use words, their body language, tone, and eye movements all give away information. When you are not emotional, you notice these things much better. But the problem started after that. Emotions are not just weakness. They are also a small but important part of our humanity. After 3 or 4 days, I began to feel disconnected from people. Conversations started feeling awkward. Others began thinking I had become arrogant. Most dangerously, I started feeling empty inside. That is when I realized a simple truth. Ayanokoji does not destroy emotions, he controls them. The difference may seem small, but in reality, it is huge. If you completely kill your emotions in real life, you will not become strong. You will become isolated. The correct approach is to convert anger into energy, fear into preparation, and learn to remain completely calm when needed. That is real emotional control. Rule number 2, everyone is a tool. The second philosophy of the white room was even darker. People are tools. In simple words, relationships and friendships have no real value. A person is useful only as long as they serve your purpose. I know Ayanokoji has said this line many times in the anime. When I first heard it, I thought this mindset was very powerful because if you don't get emotionally attached, no one can manipulate you. So I conducted a small experiment. I started observing people as if they were chess pieces. Who influences whom, who is insecure, who craves attention, and who trusts too easily. This observation technique was indeed powerful. I began to understand people's behavior very clearly, but then a problem emerged. When you start seeing everyone as a tool, your empathy slowly disappears. Without empathy, you cannot build trust. Without trust, real relationships cannot exist. And without relationships, your growth in life becomes very limited. The secret most people miss about Ayanokoji is that while he uses people like tools, he deeply understands their psychology. And to understand psychology, empathy is essential. The real lesson is this: don't treat people as tools. Understand them, their motivations, their fears. Only then can you truly influence them. And influence is far more powerful than manipulation. Rule number 3, observe everything but speak less. In the White Room, children were taught another dangerous skill: observation. The rule was simple: the more a person talks, the more mistakes they make. The one who observes more controls the entire game. I also started a small experiment. I decided to speak less and observe more in class, with friends, and in public places. I noticed how people behaved. For instance, when someone tries to act confident, their posture may be strong, but their eyes blink more frequently. When someone lies, they tend to give unnecessary details. When someone is insecure, they constantly seek approval from others. I had never noticed these things before. But when I spoke less, I realized that people reveal themselves far more through their behavior than through their words. Rule number 4, extreme discipline. The next principle of the White Room was brutal discipline. The children's schedule was not normal. From morning till night, there was training, mental tests, physical drills, strategy sessions, and exercises. If performance dropped, there was immediate punishment. No excuses, no breaks, no emotions, only results. This concept inspired me a lot, so I started following a very strict routine. I began waking up early, working out, creating study vlogs, and almost eliminated phone distractions. In the beginning, I felt extremely productive. My focus improved and my energy levels got better. But then I realized the difference between White Room discipline and real-life discipline. In the White Room, the only purpose of life was performance. In real life, you are a human being. You need rest, social connection, and sometimes mental breaks. If you turn discipline into punishment, you will not be able to stay consistent for long. Real discipline is not torture, it is a system. Create small habits, maintain a stable daily routine, and slowly push your limits. Rule number 5, never show your true power. One of Ayanokoji's most dangerous habits is that he never reveals his real capability. He intentionally acts average so that no one sees him as a threat. Then, at the right moment, he quietly changes the game. This strategy looked very smart in the anime, so I tried it too. I kept a low profile, less attention, less showing off, and fewer unnecessary competitions. It was useful because when you stop trying to prove yourself all the time, your focus shifts to actual learning. However, there was a trap. If you always hide your abilities, you will also miss opportunities. In the real world, sometimes you need to show your capabilities so that people take you seriously. The smart approach is, don't show your power everywhere, but step forward confidently when the right moment comes. Rule number 6, train your mind like a weapon. The next rule was simple. It is important for the body to be strong, but the mind should be even more dangerous. In the White Room, children were not just taught from books. They were trained in problem solving, logical games, and strategic thinking. Their brains were turned into weapons. I also made a change. Instead of scrolling in my free time, I started using it for deep thinking. When a problem arose, I stopped reacting emotionally and began analyzing it logically, thinking about the best possible outcome. I noticed that when you look at problems through logical thinking rather than emotional reactions, solutions become much clearer. Rule number 7, strategic thinking. Ayanokoji had a dangerous skill: strategy. He never looked at a situation only in the present. He always thought about the future impact of his moves. It was like a chess mindset. I developed a small habit. Before making any decision, I would ask myself, what will be the long-term result of this? For example, if I watch reels for 3 hours, the result will be temporary entertainment. But if I invest those 3 hours in learning a skill, the result will be a future advantage. This simple thinking pattern can change your life because most people choose instant comfort, while those who make decisions based on the future slowly pull ahead in the game. Rule number 8, isolation. The darkest side of the white room was isolation. Children were almost completely cut off from the normal world. No friends, no family bonding, no emotional support, only training and competition. When I tried this in my life for a few days, I understood how dangerous it could be. At first, I thought isolation would give me focus and make me smarter. But after some time, a strange, heavy feeling came over me. The silence started feeling oppressive. I realized that the human brain cannot stay healthy without social communication. Many children in the white room broke down mentally because isolation does not just build discipline. It can also create danger. Real growth does not mean cutting yourself off from the world. It means learning to control distractions. Rule number 9, pain tolerance. Another brutal principle of the white room was pain tolerance. Children were taught that if they could not handle pressure, they could never become strong. This point is partly true because growth in real life does not come from comfort. Waking up early, working out, these things feel painful, and most people avoid pain, which is why they remain average. I made a small rule in my life. Every day, do at least one small thing that feels slightly uncomfortable: extra workout reps, reading a difficult topic, or keeping the phone aside to focus. I slowly realized that pain is not the enemy. It is a signal that you are pushing your limits. However, there is a difference between tolerating pain and destroying yourself. In the white room, extreme pressure caused many students to break mentally. The real lesson is, do not avoid pain but use it intelligently. Rule number 10, the biggest truth about Ayanokoji. Finally, the most important realization I had after this experiment. The goal of becoming Ayanokoji is wrong in itself. Ayanokoji is powerful not because he is emotionless, but because he survived the white room. He experienced pain, pressure, and isolation, and those experiences sharpened him. In real life, you do not need the white room. What you need is self-awareness. Understand your strengths and weaknesses. Build discipline. Improve your observation skills. Develop strategic thinking. And most importantly, learn to remain human. A machine can be strong, but it can never be as powerful as a real human being. Perhaps this is the lesson most people miss while trying to copy Ayanokoji. If I had to summarize this entire video in one line, it would be, the white room made Ayanokoji strong and smart, but it also stole his humanity. Therefore, if you want to grow in real life, take the discipline, the observation, and the strategic thinking, but never let go of your humanity. Because in the end, the goal should not be to become Ayanokoji. The goal should be to become the best version of yourself. That's the end of the video. If you liked it even a little, please like it and subscribe if you're new to the channel. See you in the next video. Until then, if you want, you can also check out my other video.